4 or 5 days after the Delhi election results on the 8th of December, I met Arvind Kejriwal and told him to reconsider the ban on Times Now. And I told Arvind Kejriwal, you're a political party now, you're going to have to be open to criticism. Arvind Kejriwal told me at that point of time that I don't care if anyone criticizes us, but Times Now cannot criticize us. As a result of our decision not to come under that kind of censorship, he and Yogendra Yadav together ensured that Times Now would be banned by the Aam Aadmi Party. I told Yogendra Yadav that we were not cheerleaders of any party, but clearly that is what they must expect. Now, why am I saying this tonight before I welcome everyone on the debate? I'm saying this tonight so that somewhere Yogendra Yadav realizes that he can't even stop Arvind Kejriwal from criticizing him, and Arvind Kejriwal realizes he can't stop Yogendra Yadav from criticizing him. Kamal Mitra Chenoy of the Aam Aadmi Party, Ajay Bose, who supported the Aam Aadmi Party for a long time, Sabha Naqvi, political editor of The Outlook, who's been hopeful about the Aam Aadmi Party for long, I don't know about tonight. General Raj Kadian fought from Rajasthan on an Aam Aadmi Party ticket. He is the former Deputy Chief of Army Staff. And critical of the Aam Aadmi Party tonight, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP, Ragini Naik of the Congress, R.K. Mishra of the Navbharat Democratic Party, and Santosh Bhartiya, editor of Chauthi Duniya. This is an open debate, and I would first like to begin by asking Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy, camps have emerged, the disintegration has started. Yogendra Yadav and Manish Sisodia are in an open fight. Yogendra Yadav says that Arvind Kejriwal has become some kind of an undemocratic party supremo. Where is this story going now?
Well, Arnab, the first thing I'd like to say is that Aam Aadmi people have been coming to your channel. I have been coming for quite a while. Along with me earlier,
you are a friend of the party. No official spokesperson of the party is allowed to come on Times Now. Everyone knows that. You are a member of the party. You are not an official spokesperson. And all official spokespersons have in some kind of a conceited and silly move decided to boycott an independent channel. Anyway, that's not the story. I'm only saying it tonight because we were told to change the line of our questioning vis-a-vis the AAP. Everyone knows that. Ask anyone in Delhi.
Well,
ask anyone in Delhi,
anyway,
because your party could not tolerate criticism. That's all. I'm glad you're there, but you're not an official spokesperson.
Not only on this channel, but on many other channels, I have defended the Aam Aadmi Party, and I have taken the same position that I'm taking here.
Yeah, but when you go back from the program, ask Yogendra Yadav whether this ban is true or not. Anyway, you tell me what's happening in your party tonight.
No, but I think, Arnab, the more serious question is the party split down the middle?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
No.
Are there sharp debates? Yes.
Sharp debates.
There are sharp debates on where we focused our electoral strength, whether it was right to have 420 odd candidates all over the country or be much more select, whether our
no, but when just a minute. When we ask the questions in the media, then Arvind Kejriwal would say this media is bought out, corporate media, you've taken money, you are corrupt. Now, Yogendra Yadav is asking those questions. Has Yogendra Yadav taken money from someone to ask those questions? Anyway, let's get a second voice tonight. Santosh Bhartiya of Chauthi Duniya. This is part of democracy, says Kamal Mitra Chenoy.
कमल जी की मैं बड़ी इज्जत करता हूँ अर्नब। मुझे सिर्फ एक दुख हो रहा है कि हमने एक डिबेकल देखा 77 में, लोगों ने बहुत भरोसा किया था। दूसरा हमने 89 में देखा जब वीपी सिंह प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने तो लोगों ने बहुत भरोसा किया था, और दोनों समय सरकारें नहीं चल पाईं, आपसी झगड़े की वजह से गिर गईं। अभी अरविंद केजरीवाल के यहाँ एक नई कमाल की चीज़ हुई कि लोग इकट्ठे हुए विदाउट आइडियोलॉजी। एक प्रो मार्केट है, एक एंटी मार्केट है, एक प्रो पीपुल है, एक एंटी पीपुल है। इस तरीके के लोग इस पार्टी में इकट्ठे हुए, और जो सबसे समझदार लोग थे, मैं कमल जी को भी मानता हूं, लेकिन प्रोफेसर आनंद कुमार और योगेंद्र यादव, इनकी बात पार्टी में ज़्यादा सुनी नहीं गई। ये पार्टी बुनियादी तौर पर लोगों की भीड़ रही, ये पार्टी के रूप में कभी कन्वर्ट हो ही नहीं पाई। और जितने लोग सामने आए उन सबका आइडियोलॉजिकल वैक्यूम लोगों के सामने बहुत बुरी तरह से आया। इसलिए मेरा ये मानना है कि ये हिंदुस्तान के लोगों को एक नया फ्रस्ट्रेशन दे गई, और शायद आने वाले 10, 15, 20 सालों में जो भी आदमी बदलाव की बात करेगा, चेंज की बात करेगा, प्रो पीपल पॉलिटिक्स की बात करेगा, शायद उसके ऊपर लोग कम भरोसा करें।
Maybe Mr. Yadav wants to launch his own party. Maybe Shazia Ilmi thinks that she can launch her own party. Maybe, and I haven't heard from Kumar Vishwas. Where is Kumar Vishwas? Ajay Bose. I don't know whether Ajay Bose or Sabha Naqvi know today where Kumar Vishwas is. There is a theory doing the rounds that he is also planning to switch. He told his reporter to tell our people.
I've heard that he left in the middle of the meeting.
That he is not at home, but I was told he is at home. And he's running away from the Times Now camera. I don't know, Ajay Bose, what's going on in this party?
Well, obviously there are serious differences. I personally feel that at the moment we can't call these differences a formal split. However, there are serious differences, but you know, Arnav, people like us, people like me, who had great hopes that AAP is going to represent a departure, a radical departure from conventional politics, and that is why even a very cynical veteran journalist like me, we have a certain amount of romanticism. We know that all the other parties have very conventional political approaches, and this party was one of the few parties who came along and said, listen, you keep on changing governments, we keep on changing leaders, we keep on changing prime ministers, however nothing changes for the people. And so there was a great hope that there will be a new type of party. Unfortunately, what I find is that although the ideas were good, they were completely unable to translate this into some kind of systematic plan. And they overreached themselves, and now that the Lok Sabha elections are over, there are all kinds of leadership issues.
No, but today it's about power. Today it's about...
They completely got sidelined by these leadership issues.
There is, and let me tell you here, Sabha, you know this, today it's purely about power, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, Yogendra Yadav wants to tell us today, oh, I'm so worried about the fact that the party is to centralize. I mean, anybody would ask that question before the elections, and Yogendra Yadav would be among the people who would say these people have been bought out. He talks today about diverting public attention and losing a sense of direction. But what about the pure loss of direction when these dharnas and sit-ins, when Arvind Kejriwal carried out that little drama last week, Yogendra Yadav was outside the police station, wasn't he, Sabha? So what has happened today is that there's a power struggle in Haryana between Yogendra Yadav and somebody else. This has got nothing to do with ideology. That's what I'm hearing. What are you hearing?
Arnab, I believe whatever future, let me give you my view on, since you described me as hopeful about AAP, give me 2 minutes to say something. First of all, I don't think, I think the party has to be built around Arvind Kejriwal, regardless of all the many mistakes he seems to have made in the last, after the result came out. He showed a very, even more dangerous than what we've seen these fights within the party, which by the way, you've seen in the Congress. I've also seen it in the BJP after defeat. We've seen fights in parties after defeat. This is a very young party. But what has really worried me has been the manner in which they acted inconsistently. There is something called therav, there is something called the ability to stay the course in defeat. In defeat is when your character is tested. You don't go jumping from one decision to the other seeking the media limelight. I think that is the greatest mistake they have made. They were a new party, so I'm not even, I don't know how they expected
you're being very
to do
forgiving.
very well. Nobody did expect them to do very well. I think they'll...
No, you see, I can understand, Sabha, a party makes one mistake. But a party makes so-called, and I don't think these are mistakes. Are they mistakes? Let me ask R.K. Mishra, are they mistakes? You think they are mistakes, sir? You also had a party of your own from Bangalore. Are they mistakes? Or is this actually an implosion that's happening right now?
Arnav, I have a personal rapport with Arvind. He happens to be my classmate. He went to Kharagpur, I went to Kanpur, and we share a lot of passion and ideology. I think the problem with Arvind and the people, they were, unfortunately somebody mentioned, it was amalgamation of opportunists who came together just in a short span of time, trying to get to the power somehow. And somebody very aptly put in Lucknow, when I was campaigning for my own campaign in UP, we had around 18 candidates, that they had dal roti, but in trying to get biryani, they let go of dal roti. And this is what exactly happened, because a lot of people who came around, I don't want to name, and I know them personally, we spoke, in fact they were after me. They said only way you can join us by merging us. I think the arrogance that it went to their head. We do need a party like that, with Congress going nowhere. I think there is a need for a constructive opposition. AAP could have been there, everything said and done. Fielding 400 people across the country, and we have fielded many people, and we know how difficult. It's no mean task. This party has the right, DNA, but the problem is the people who are associated, they are all activist type. Nobody knows how to manage. None of them have done anything in life in terms of creating any economic activity. They all are activists. They only know how to say no. They don't know how to say yes. So that's the problem with this party. They need managers. They need political coordination. They think everybody else is an enemy. In politics, nobody is an enemy. So I think these are fundamental issues. Yogendra Yadav I have met Ashutosh, I have met Arvind so many times. These people were on a cloud 9, and I think they need to come down, they need to understand, and they have to build. It's a 20-year process, and I would be very sad if this party disappears.
No, it's one thing about being sad, but they have a serious sense of entitlement. Ragini Naik, yes, I'm coming to you. Let's ask some straightforward questions to the Aam Aadmi Party. I mean, the fact is that today Yogendra Yadav says there is a serious deficit. No, Yogendra Yadav today says the party has a serious deficit in policy thinking. I just want to understand, when people ask them why did you...
But Yogendra Yadav was supposed to be the policy think tank of the party.
Precisely.
Arvind was...
Precisely. It's like Rahul Gandhi criticizing dynasty. It's like Rahul Gandhi criticizing dynasty. Yogendra Yadav decided everything within the Aam Aadmi Party, and now since he can't have his say, he becomes the critic within. Ragini, you must be really pleased at the way things are going.
Arnav, let me begin by saying, to err is human. You see, mistake is not a problem as long as you learn from your mistake and make amends. But the problem with Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is that accepting wrongdoings is not his forte. He has the might within the Aam Aadmi Party, and that is why he is always Mr. Right. This is the basic problem. Now, coming on to the essential issue, that the question that you are raising tonight, I think there are 2 or 3 very important issues that have to be brought to the forefront. To begin with, I would say that power has many dimensions. It attracts people, it pulls people together. Till the time the light of power was shining in front of the Aam Aadmi Party and the leaders, you found that they were all together. They managed somehow to kind of put forth certain actions, put forth certain policies. However, I believe that they have never been foregrounded in ideology or any sort of structure. But the important point is that as soon as the light of power diminishes, as soon as they realize that it is a 5-year-long struggle, and they know that even the people in Delhi are once bitten, twice shy, they are not going to vote in favor of the Aam Aadmi Party, we are seeing a major collapse. We are seeing this party breaking down. Another point that I would like to raise here tonight is that it was very, somewhere down the line, this particular incident of the letter war between Manish Sisodia and Mr. Yogendra Yadav is sounding the death knell of this party. There have been many fallouts. We've seen Madam Madhu Bhaduri leaving, Shazia Ilmi leaving, we've seen Captain Gopinath leaving, but certain accusations coming from a person like Yogendra Yadav, whom I personally found to be a credible voice somehow, have seen large and serious implications, and the impact has been so grave that the Aam Aadmi Party has gone into a complete denial mode. They are not accepting something which is glaringly obvious, that there is a rift within the party, there are internal conflicts, there has been a lot of acrimony and accusations. It is a classic case of split wide open, premised on power politics, power dynamics. And I would say that this is not the first or the last time that this party has washed its dirty linen in the public. It's going to be repeated, and I think this party has seen the best of the days.
This General Kadian, and by the way, Kamal Mitra Chennai, I hope you are listening tonight. And Sudhanshu Trivedi, I am coming to you. But I hope you are listening tonight. Because so many people gave you such a big opportunity. And principally out of a simple feeling that they didn't like the BJP, they didn't like the Congress, and they felt that you could do something. You just whittled it all away. Why? Because you were completely conceited, arrogant and self-serving in your party's approach. I'm not saying your approach towards criticism. I mean, Arvind Kejriwal would preach to everyone. But when Shazia Ilmi said on camera that Muslims must not be secular in this election, he did absolutely nothing. He didn't do one thing. Yeah. That, in my view, was a loss of direction. Till date, I don't know what action, if any, was taken on the investigation, internal investigation on the charges against Prashant Bhushan. It was almost as if Aam Aadmi Party leaders would sit at a different pedestal. None of them could be criticized. That's exactly what happened with Somnath Bharti. Anybody who questioned all that needless, hypocritical drama over Somnath Bharti was sold out and part of a self-serving paid corporate media. And the same man, Arvind Kejriwal, Yogendra Yadav, Ashutosh and all these leaders had the courage at one point of time to even claim that Times Now was a corrupt channel. I mean, these people should really search within and ask themselves on what basis, with what justification, with what sense of ideology, with what propriety did they dare to ask a channel like Times Now a question. We broke all the scams, they broke none. They just wanted to use all that public sentiment to reach political power. And when we asked those people that their lust for power should not make them arrogant, they refused to listen. So I'm not blaming you, Kamal Mitra Chennai. I'm only telling you that all those leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party have tonight been exposed. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those arrogant set of leaders in your party who stopped listening. Raj Kadian, you entered the Aam Aadmi Party. You've been Deputy Chief of Staff. I'm sure you entered for a reason. How do you feel today at the drama that's going on within the Aam Aadmi Party? This fight, not the other drama.
Or now let me clarify. I joined the Aam Aadmi Party because of their ideology. The ideology is still good, and many of the volunteers still firmly believe in that ideology. They have obviously gone wrong in their actions, in their methodology. But let me also say that a party is bigger than individuals. If you look at history, a long war that starts with a defeat, the generals are always the first casualty. The leadership then passes on to the next rank, and they lead the party with the same ideology. I am not a member of the inner core, either the National Executive or the Political Affairs Committee or any such think tank. I have never met Arvind Kejriwal in my life. I have spoken to him only once. I have met Mr. Yogendra Yadav only once when I was interviewed for the Lok Sabha ticket, and never after that. I have not even spoken to him. So I do not know them individually, and I think the party is bigger than the individuals. There is a turmoil that cannot be denied. I myself sent a message to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal when he came into the jail and then came out of it. I said, you might be hoping to get public support and sympathy, but these antics are now inviting ridicule. The party was born out of agitationist mode. Unfortunately, even when they were ruling Delhi, that mode was not given up. As a chief minister, he himself became part of the agitation. He himself was on a dharna, slept out in the open for. I don't think that was a very wise decision, but maybe they thought otherwise. I still believe the leaders who have come to raise this party is required in national interest. Somebody has already said this. We have had two major parties, we have tried both. a fresh approach is required in the country, and that is how Aam Aadmi initially.
No, but what? No, look at the Mr. Kadian. That's all right. But look at the problem within. Look at the problem within your own party. No, 1 second. In your own party manifesto, sir. Sir, 1 second. Before you change the country, what about changing the party, Kamal Mitra Chenoy?
I am sure they will sit together.
No.
Find a way
Mr. Kadian, I don't think you can hear me.
Come up, and the party.
Any party which is vibrant will keep changing.
Political wars are very.
No, 1 second. I don't think, Mr. Kadian, you can hear me.
Tomorrow. I still believe in their ideology,
Well,
and I do sincerely hope
Mr. Kadian.
differences are sorted out.
Mr. Kadian, I don't think you can hear me. Can you? Or I'll just go to someone else. Mr. Kadian, the point is, the point is, Ajay Bose, I just go to Mr. Trivedi, then I'm opening up this debate. You know, before you change the country, first you got to change yourself. I mean, the party said that we don't want concentration of power, there should be decentralization. Today, Yogendra Yadav says the maximum centralization is within the Aam Aadmi Party. Sudhanshu Trivedi, in to the debate. After that, Ajay Bose, I'm coming back to you.
Arnav, actually, I am not surprised at the series of events which is happening in Aam Aadmi Party. Because if you look something in depth, it is very clear that what was going to happen. There is a difference between an issue-based agitation and a broad-based structured political party which is capable of handling so many issues. They were more behaving like a professional agitator than a mature political party. In my opinion, for any political party to sustain, they must have a point of coherence which emerges out of three things: the ideology, organization, and sense of aspiration. Here the problem was, in ideology, mainly there are three fringes, left, right or center. They were unable to define in which ideology they are trying to portray themselves. Then the organizational level, they try to get everybody from every nook and corner to come on their side. As far as the inspiration, they have made a very new, very peculiar ideology. Breaking of discipline has become a point of morality. Demeaning the institutions have become a point of morality. When their minister is openly taking over and above the police and accusing the police, and this you symbolize as morality, it means you are sowing the seeds of discontent and showing an ideal which is very dangerous for your cadre from top to bottom. So the same thing happened when a chief minister says that you do his thing, and he was using the phrase, koi aapko ghoos de.
Kamal Mitra Chenoy, hear that.
Setting kar lena. If these type of phrases were used by chief minister on chair, you do setting and then let us know. It means you are trying to create an anarchy in the system. You are not having any discipline.
Kamal Mitra Chenoy.
And of course, when the crisis hour comes, it is the time for you to test. I would like to quote one sentence of Kumar Vishwas. He has quoted one couplet of Ramcharitmanas on the plight of Aam Aadmi Party. Dheeraj dharam mitra arunari apad kal parakhiye chari. It means at the hour of crisis, your commitment towards your patience, your dharma, your friend and your wife, means your family, is on the touchstone at the time of crisis, since they were having all sort of inherent problems, structured problems, the basic theoretical problems. So they are facing this type of problem at the hour of crisis. So I am not at all surprised.
Yes.
It was as if like a mathematical formulation. It was scheduled to
you
go,
think,
and it
no,
is
you
happening.
think nobody in the Aam Aadmi Party realized that? No, 1 second. You think, let's get back Kamal Mitra Chenoy. Mr. Chenoy, I'm sure you are introspecting tonight as this debate is going on at the terrible state of affairs in your party. Do you think, I find it impossible to believe that nobody within the Aam Aadmi Party realized what they were doing. I mean, here was a person, Arvind Kejriwal, who said, I want to go into politics because this Andolan and Anshan route does not work. And then when he came to power, he teamed up with the same party he had been criticizing all this while, which he called the most corrupt party in the world, the Congress party, to form the government, and then went back to the Andolan and Anshan route, and while being chief minister decided to give a 50% cut in power bills to his political party supporters. I mean, he violated every single rule of public trust, Kamal Mitra Chenoy. Every single rule of public trust violated by this person, Arvind Kejriwal. I just want to ask you, Kamal Mitra Chenoy, why do you still stick on to them? You're not lusting for power.
Because I believe in the party I don't stick on to any individual, nor do most of the people in the AAP. And by the way, some of the things that you've raised, correctly I think, like Somnath Bharti, we called 42 African envoys, of which 35 came, and sharply rebuked him. He wasn't present. And Arvind apologized. So as far as Shazia Ilmi's statements were concerned, it was made in a private room of a private house. It was illegally videotaped. And Mr.
come on,
Pandita,
now that's again arrogance.
Admitted that he was a follower of Modi.
No.
And check up from your lawyer. This is a violation of law.
You know, I'm reminded.
Ragini.
Arnab.
And as for Ragini, she should be reminded about what's happening to the Congress without giving us lectures.
Yeah.
No, in public life you do not make
You see, I'm reminded of what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal said in his first speech in Banaras. He went there, asked people whether he should contest this election or not. And the second thing which he said was, you vote for us and we will have elections in another year. So it is pre-evident that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal knew that he's actually institutionalizing instability in our democracy. There have been so many flaws, and the very reason that I mentioned he's not learning from his mistakes is because most of the leaders who have fallen out of the party have been categorically saying that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is a habitual autocrat and has dictatorial instincts. There is complete collapse of internal democracy. No talk of Swaraj, nothing at all. Despite that, there was no effort being made from the highest leadership of the Aam Aadmi Party to resolve this crisis.
You didn't see this coming, Kamal Mitra Chenoy.
It has precipitated to this level.
But Arnav, if this is true, how come there was complete amity, complete confluence on the resolution that was the last item to be passed in the National Executive today? Why did everyone agree? Why didn't people stand up and say no? This is against the Aam Aadmi Party principles.
Well, maybe
Please
because
look at your own.
Maybe because
worrying. We respect the media, but if you jump to conclusions, then it doesn't help.
No, one second. Here is what Yogendra Yadav says. Don't keep bashing the media. It's a very bad habit. Sabha, I'm coming to you. I just don't want to let that kind of comment.
I'm not bashing
that
you.
Kind of comment from Kamal Mitra Chenoy go unrebutted. You see, I'll tell you, Mr. Chenoy.
You are quoting Yogendra Yadav's earlier statement.
No, I'm quoting Yogendra Yadav's letter.
The final resolution.
I'll tell you what he says. I understand English, and I presume as a professor you understand English better than me. Yogendra Yadav says there is a difference between a leader and a Supremo, right? Love and affection for a leader often turns into a personality cult that can damage the organization and the leader himself. That is what is happening to our party. So you ask me, why did everyone agree? Because maybe you don't have a leader, you have a Supremo. Everyone falls in line. I mean, it's a terrible thing to hear, but it's a fact possibly. And then, by the way, a leader...
You ask people, including your panel, whether I am a follower, a blind follower.
You are not
Ask them about Anand Kumar. Is he a blind follower?
Well,
there's a whole list of us. Jammu Anand and Nagpur. Is he a blind follower? What is this, Arnab?
I'll tell you about Professor Anand Kumar. You can ask him. He came on the program and he could not defend effectively, despite being a professor, I think, of sociology. He could not defend why the Aam Aadmi Party was not taking a position on Khap Panchayats. A couple of days later, after that program, Yogendra Yadav calls and he says that, we don't like the tone of your channel. Either you change or you would stop sending people to your party. So I'm very sorry, Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy, whether it's Anand Kumar or for that matter Yogendra Yadav, you're all in the same boat.
And knows that I'm coming to your channel.
We are all in this, we saw this whole arrogance is a bad thing. That's all. And by the way, when we, for example, reveal the story that Arvind Kejriwal wanted not one but two magnificent bungalows to work, live and operate from, he was really angry. I mean, these are the things that when you cheated the people, you said, I don't want the perks of office, but this is exactly what you wanted. You clutched on to it. And when channels started asking you, you would not take it well. The point is tonight, maybe all of this has come back to haunt you. That's all. Yes, Sabha, you wanted to make a point here.
Arnab.
Yeah, Ajay Bose after Sabha.
Arnab, I want to make a point about your thing that they were boycotting your channel, because I actually, while I was calling up for a story one day, having covered the BJP and the Congress and all the parties, I actually said to one of those leaders, why are you boycotting the media? Please remember the history of the BJP when they used to be attacked, but they never boycotted anyone.
Yep.
They made sure they were heard in every platform, in every press conference. So I actually said this to them. And so anyway, but to get back, I think it's a foolish thing to boycott anyone in the media. You can keep saying your things even if you don't like what the media is saying. Having said that, I want to make one more point, Arnab, is that all the crises that the Aam Aadmi Party is facing, and even though the idea of the Supremo and the leader is never a great idea, but that's how it's working out in real life. You have an effective Supremo in the BJP, in the Aam Aadmi Party, for all the mistakes he's made. Please remember, it was Arvind Kejriwal who had that stupendous win in Delhi, and even in Varanasi, in the face of a huge wave, he got over 2 lakh votes, which was a wave for Narendra Modi. Whereas in Haryana, they did dismally. You know, so at the end of it, it's not even electoral arithmetic. I'm just saying parties need a leader in this day and age.
No, I'm sure they do.
I can't see anyone else becoming an alternative to him, to whatever is left. Whatever is left of Aam Aadmi Party.
I'm sure you do. If you do feel that the Aam Aadmi Party with 3 or 4 seats is the national alternative, that's all right. And that's also 3 or 4 seats with a divided party leadership,
No, I'm not
fighting
saying that.
and squabbling
I'm
among
not
each other.
saying that,
One sec. Yes or Joy?
I'm not saying that.
Arnab, do not, please, you know, sort of many of the points which you have raised about arrogance, indiscipline, inconsistency are very correct, but you'll be making a big mistake if you're writing the political obituary of AAP already. Because it's a young party, there is a huge vacuum in the opposition space, and it takes a long time to build a party. You look at the history of various parties. In the beginning, they made asses of themselves. You look at the history of various political leaders. They made asses of themselves. I can name you one after the other. So do not, I mean, my point is, let us, I think, over-romanticize the AAP. We built it up too much. On the other hand, we shouldn't go to the other extreme and rubbish it completely. They have huge potential.
Well, I tell you,
I think Kejriwal has grown. He's a very effective mass leader.
I tell you this.
All I'm trying to say is do not completely write him off. Do not write off the AAP. That would be a big mistake.
Ajayda, as I go to Sudhanshu Trivedi, I just want to make one point, that unlike others, we were never romantically involved with the AAP. So we don't move to the other extreme. We've stayed the course and asked the same questions that we are asking the same questions that we did. So we've had no platonic or romantic relationship with a political party ever, not leave alone the AAP. Sudhanshu Trivedi wanted to come into the debate. Yes, Mr. Trivedi. Yeah.
Honest, stop trivializing.
Yes, I just want to say, if you want to become a symbol of morality, this should be consistent in your career throughout. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, when he was Commissioner Income Tax, he was enjoying his Bangalore entitlement, whatever he was entitled, and his wife was also having. Suddenly, when he becomes Chief Minister, he says, no, I will not take. On the other hand, I would like to point out, in BJP, there is a cadre of organization secretaries who come from RSS. They never take any Bangalore. They live in the party office. They never assume any post. They never become MLA. They never become MP. So it is a consistent track record of the 60 years. That becomes a symbol of morality, not only at one occasion or the other. Second thing, they say, we will not use government
RSS is not
package.
a political party.
And when they are going for swearing in, this was not the personal event. This was the official event.
I'm sorry, Mr. Trivedi.
And
I'm sorry, Mr. Trivedi. Let me just point out
the word that
out of your 71 MPs from
one thing I would like to point out, that BJP is the political party in the independent
91% MPs of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
But we never use this word that media is sold out.
Listen to me, 91%
Their minister on camera has said, किसी ने आपको कितने पैसे दिए हैं. This type of attitude ultimately leads to disaster, and there are certain principles.
I mean, BJP is trying to be the symbol of morality within the parliament, I think.
Well,
I mean, please stop chastising and stop sermonizing people. Arnab, I want to make a point.
No, but one second, Ragini, just a minute. No, Ragini, one second. Ragini, again, I don't want to. No, one second. One second. I just want to say one thing at this point. No, Ragini, I just want to say one thing. I want to say one thing at this point. Two things I want to say. First thing I want to say about Kamal Mitra Chinoy. who's looking hurt at the fact that I'm questioning him, because today he is a member of the Aam Aadmi Party on my program. So all our questions and what he may perceive, Professor, as our attacks seem to be aimed at you. But let me caveat that and underline that by saying,
that's a theoretical
but
attack,
let me say that, let me add one thing to that, that I am quite happy, and in fact I think we would be relieved that there are people like you who have the ability to soak up and be open to criticism. What you need to do is to take that attitude to the other people in your party. And to Ragini, by the way, you know, Ragini, please, before you could start jumping on the Aam Aadmi Party, I want to remind you, around 4 o'clock on the 8th of December 2013, a young man called Rahul Gandhi came out and addressed the media, and he said that, you know, we need to emulate the Aam Aadmi Party. We need to do what they are doing. They are the ones who've opened things up. So your leader, Rahul Gandhi, made one second. So you are the ones. You're the ones who are romantically involved with the Aam Aadmi Party, not the media. No, one second. Yes, Ragini.
Gandhi and Arvind.
No, let Ragini reply.
Debate on Rahul Gandhi and get this matter settled. You have to bring in Rahul Gandhi in each debate of yours. There is a particular point that I want to make. Please allow me before you say that there's no time left.
Both are having the same time of reaction.
No, let Ragini reply, please.
Ragini, what can he say
Can I
against
come in?
Rahul Gandhi, poor girl?
You know, Arnab, there's a very interesting angle. There's a very interesting angle that we're completely missing and ignoring here. If we pay a little bit of a focus on the content of Manish Sisodia ji's letter, we would find out that he has now put on the blame of leaving the one bird in hand and moving on to the two in the bushes on Yogendra Yadav. Now, I see this as a very strategic ploy to cleanse. Cleanse and salvage Arvind Kejriwal of all the past misdeeds, of the guilt of all the mistakes that he has done in the past, and again project his image as a knight in the shining armor, as a saint.
Oh, Sabha says you're misreading.
Who did not want to actually
Sabha. You know, it's so funny, Arnab. I'm finding this so funny. Because it's happening on a much worse scale. What Ragini is describing, it's happening on a completely incompetent leader at every level in the Congress party. I've just done a story on it, and that is they do it at a scale which is unprecedented. In no other party is the leadership so incompetent, and are they so people protecting them?
To say what
it's hilarious because you know Ragini, you could have internalized you could have internalized what's happening to your party, and you imagine that is happening elsewhere. The AAP is having a lot of problems, but what you're describing is actually precisely what happens.
You know, Sabha, at least the Congress party is serious about introspection, is serious about certain churning, is serious about sitting down, talking across the table, analyzing what has gone wrong within the party.
No one can criticize
what is the reason
Rahul
for this debacle?
Ragini,
but the Aam Aadmi party is not even serious about that. You see, that is the problem. You can lash out at Rahul Gandhi, but this person has
Ragini, one second. Ragini, hear it tonight from R.K. Mishra. Ragini, 1 second. Don't protest too much. I'll start revealing secrets otherwise. Hear it tonight from R.K. Mishra. And before I come to R.K. Mishra, I want to share a little anecdote. A top leader from the Congress party was so exasperated with the appointment of Mallikarjun Kharge that he went around calling all senior journalists saying, can you please make a big deal of it? When the journalist told him,
I'm surprised.
No, 1 second. When the journalist told him why he was not speaking, he said, you know how things in my party are. 1 second. Yes, R.K. Mishra wanted to say something to you.
Why don't you start naming people?
Okay.
Don't give hypothetical
I don't reveal my sources.
Ragini.
Yeah.
Start naming people. Under the oath of confidentiality, you can pretty much say whatever you
hear
want
it tonight.
To say.
Learn from what's happening in the hour.
Ragini, keep quiet.
Mr. Mishra is saying something to you. He says, keep quiet. 1 second. Yeah.
Ragini, I think while we are at the case of AAP, unfortunately, I think while we are at the case of AAP, the more introspection is needed at Congress party. It is really sad that we don't have a legitimate leader opposition because of the such low number of Congress. Now, what Manish Sisodia is doing for Kejriwal has been done by every single Congress leader. In fact, I have some good friends within Rahul Gandhi's close circle, and I said if you had made Jyotiraditya Scindia as the president of the party and Kamal Nath as the speaker, your party has some chance of survival, and this is on record. I think we should try to have an effective
Party is
opposition
not
to the
averse
BJP.
to any kind of introspection.
This is absolutely
We are
disaster.
doing that. We will consider your suggestions. Thank you very much.
No, introspection.
This is the
means
same attitude. Same attitude as the AAP.
No. You will do everything. You will do everything, but in the end result will be Sonia Gandhi and Rahul
How are
Gandhi.
you comparing these two attitudes?
Sonia Gandhi and Rahul
I'm saying
Gandhi.
we will consider your suggestions. What else do you want me to say on a news channel?
Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, you please.
I'm being
please,
as humble
country
as I
has
can.
changed.
I'm
You
saying
guys
we
need to
are
understand.
accepting.
No,
No,
I'll
country
tell you.
has
No,
changed. You're not
Ragini,
realizing.
again,
You're
I'd
not
like to say
realizing.
this to you.
The
Ragini, I'd like to say one minute.
leaders
Ragini, just
are
listen,
making
please.
people
Listening is a good
from
thing.
all across the country.
No, I say something to you
Yeah.
which I said to the Aam Aadmi Party also. They didn't listen. I always told them listening is a good thing. No, nobody wants to draw an analogy
Listening
with the Congress party. I find it interesting that a party with 4
Arnav,
MPs
you are
also...
forgetting one person.
No. Watch it. The party with 4 MPs also does not want to be compared to a party with 44 MPs. Incidentally, there are 3 things similar between the 3 parties. One is that both the parties are crumbling. Secondly, is both the parties' top leadership is in a mess. And third is that the fight is becoming public.
This comparison is absolutely unfair, Arnab. The Congress.
No, I want to go to Santosh Bhartiya. Santosh Bhartiya. No, Santosh.
I'm sorry, but the Aam Aadmi Party has to pass this litmus test.
One second. Let
Before
Santosh
they do that,
Bhartiya
please
speak.
Don't make these bizarre comparisons.
Let Santosh Bhartiya speak. Let Santosh Bhartiya.
We don't want to pass a family litmus test.
Fine. Santosh Bhartiya. Interestingly, Manish Sisodia says you have made the fight public. When he writes to Yogendra Yadav, he does not say there is no fight. All that he says is you have made the fight public. Yes, do go ahead, sir.
Arnav, one thing. I was correspondent of Raivar that time, and Ajay was my senior. He was in Sunday. We met Indira Gandhi, and we fought each other. It was big fight. Ajay is a witness. इंदिरा गांधी ने सारे झगड़े के बाद मुझे ये कभी नहीं कहा कि मैं तुमको बंद करवा दूंगी, तुम्हारा अखबार कॉर्पोरेट का अखबार है या तुम लोग जर्नलिज्म नहीं कर पाओगे, किसी तरह की भाषा का इस्तेमाल नहीं किया. वन थिंग आई वांट टू टेल यू, हु रिवील्ड दिस लेटर टू प्रेस? योगेंद्र ने ईमेल किया अरविंद को, मनीष ने उस ईमेल को किस तरीके से योगेंद्र की चिट्ठी को रिवील किया और ये चिट्ठी लिखी. सवाल सिर्फ ये है कि ये पहले कॉन्स्पिरेसी हो रही है इस पार्टी में, जिसको अगर संभालना है तो ओनली अरविंद कैन टैकल दिस. बट अरविंद इज नॉट कमिंग विद फुल विलनेस. ये बड़ी भारी प्रॉब्लम है कि अरविंद खामोश बैठे हैं, पार्टी को संभालते नजर नहीं आते. एंड एक चीज मैं आपको बताऊं, इस पार्टी से इतनी आशाएं थी. अजय जी, वन थिंग आई वांट टू टेल यू, मोरारजी देसाई के एरोगेंस की वजह से पार्टी टूट गई, दोबारा नहीं खड़ी हो पाई जनता पार्टी. देन जनता दल, वीपी सिंह, आपसी लड़ाई में पार्टी खत्म हो गई, दोबारा नहीं खड़ी हो पाएगी. इसलिए मुझे डर ये है कि आम आदमी पार्टी की ओबिचुरी तो नहीं है, लेकिन बिकॉज वी ऑल लव अरविंद केजरीवाल, हम उनको चाहते हैं कि वो एक ऐसी पार्टी सामने रखें, कम से कम बीजेपी और कांग्रेस को जो आईना तो दिखा सके, लेकिन वो होता दिख नहीं रहा है.
बिल्कुल. there has to be an alternative, and Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi don't have, I've always, the BJP's problem is today you don't want an opposition party in the country. Obviously you can't create an opposition party, but you should not be so glib that there is no strong opposition party to you. You should neither be arrogant, nor should you be glib, nor should you believe that you've conquered the final political citadel. You should be careful, because the moment you get into that kind of frame of mind, people will prove you wrong. Raj Kadian, are you going to remain within the Aam Aadmi Party?
There are no full stops in politics.
There are no full stops in politics, I agree.
We are not at all arrogant
as of now
of not having any opposition.
There is no
I would like to quote one thing. If you remember, during 2002 riots, there are certain English channels which were emerging at the time, and they were a strong critic of BJP. At the time we were in power. Forget about influencing them. We have not done anything against them, because we respect opposition. and we want to counter opposition in a democratic way.
What was that?
But
Of
somehow
course you
there
can't.
are certain
You're not
principles
doing
of
anybody a
politics which
favor.
never changes in 1,000
No,
years.
of course you
There is
can't.
one
What do you
principle
mean
is
we
power,
didn't do? You're not
corruption,
doing
and
anybody a
power,
favor.
talking.
The day you
And
try
it
to...
leads to disaster. That is what happened
No,
with
but
Aam Aadmi
I don't
Party.
like that.
Congress party.
What do you
There was
mean
a
by
young
that? You know, we didn't do anything. You can't do anything.
Late Sri Rajiv Gandhi,
No,
who has
you-
got 414 seats to 44 seats. In another
Well-
young leader, inexperienced leader, Rahul Gandhi.
I'll leave it here tonight.
And well trusted, well
31%
tested.
of the vote.
Well, I'll leave it here tonight, but only one thing, Kamal
And
Mitra
the NDA
Chenoy.
has got 38.5% of the vote. Far from a massive majority.
Kamal Mitra Chenoy, what's happening in your party is very, very serious. I think you have a lot of thoughts to take back to your party leadership tonight. That is, if your party Supremo talks and listens to you anymore. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight.
This is Times Now, Super Prime